Good morning, everyone. So I had something very strange happen this morning.
There ain't nobody gonna do it for you. You got to find your own.
I woke up as someone who is in a 3-time Oscar-winning movie. How random is that, right? So those of you who might be new here, I have been living in an RV for 5 years now, and I travel. I'm a full-time nomad, and I was fortunate enough to be able to be involved in the movie Nomadland. I am an extra in the movie. One of my biggest claims to fame is the picture that they show of Fern or Frances McDormand sitting in an audience. That picture, I'm in the background. If you look over her shoulder, over her right shoulder, you see me. And that picture has been in the New Yorker. It's been in the New York Times. It was on CNN yesterday. Somebody emailed me. It's been in a Women's World, I think a women's magazine. So that picture has been everywhere. And that's the clearest shot of me in the movie. I think there's 2 or 3 others. I've already talked about the movie. I've talked about Nomadland. I gave my impressions of the movie. I'll put a link to that video in the video description, and also I'll pin a comment. So if you haven't seen, as a real-time solo woman on the road living in an RV, if you want to know what I thought about the movie, go ahead and check out that video. But today I just wanted to talk about what it's like to be in a Oscar-winning movie. The thing that's really, so it's surreal, it's very strange. Of course, I'm just an extra. There's lots of extras out there in lots of movies. But one of the a couple things that are really prominent, I think, for me in all of this. And the first is Chloe Zhao. So the fact that she won, and that she is the first woman of color and only the second woman in the history of movies, only the second woman and only the first woman of color to ever win an award for her directing. So that is like one of the biggest honors to me, to be able to be involved in that. And Frances McDormand, of course, a hero of mine, a shiro. I think both of them represent women, and especially Chloe Zhao, the women of color. I think they represent very, very well a trajectory that I hope we as a country are on. Some people are fighting tooth and nail, but more equality for people of color and women. You know, I mean, there's so much focus on people of color, as there should be, but women, we still have a long way to go on so many issues. So it's an honor. It's such an honor. Her speech last night, I didn't watch the awards. I just kind of watched I was mostly on Twitter waiting to see the results. But I did go, her speech was actually on Twitter, the whole thing, and her acceptance speech. And I was in tears. I loved her speech. And I remember her on set, and I don't remember the story completely, but she was directing all of us, the crowd. And I remember something about dancing and talking about something about making her grandmother, her Chinese grandmother, proud. And I loved that tie to her family, the closeness to her family, who I believe are still in China, and the down-to-earthness of her and her professionalism. And it was just really, really an honor. I'm honored. I was impressed with her just from afar on the movie set, and just very impressed with everything I've seen from her since, especially the speech last night. And Frances McDormand, you know, just the way she carries herself and her thoughts about awards and expectations of women, and how she's been kind of bending the norms of what women are supposed to be for a long time, and showing up at the award shows in whatever she wants to wear and not having to glam out, not wearing makeup, things like that. Just, I think, a shiro to me. So, you know, it's not my story. Fern's story in Nomadland is not my story. I've said that before, that My story is very different. I'm not out here by necessity. I made a choice. I gave up an entire life in the San Francisco Bay Area, a fancy life. I did a video recently about my story, and I'll put a link to that below too, my story of how I got out here. And as I was making that video, the thing I realized is I was fancy. I was a fancy girl and a fancy lady, and I've chosen, of course, to not be quite so fancy these days. So while Fern's story is very, very representative of a lot of stories out here, I think especially a lot of the people who find Bob Wells of Cheap RV Living, I think it's very much their story. But there are so many out here, especially younger than retirement age, who are here by choice. We just saw the writing on the wall. We just saw what is ahead for us, living in the boxes, both figuratively and literally, that we were living in, and making conscious choices to live a freer, more open, more authentic to us, to me, and a more authentic life without all the fanciness and all the expense that goes with it. Keeping an eye on my dog. She loves it here. So it's a little surreal just to be a part of a movie. You know, I mean, I feel like, you know, I'm not one of the main actors, major actors. I'm not even an actor in the movie. Although somebody, hi Brian, who I have exchanges with, like on Twitter, he said last night, he's like, in my humble opinion, you gave an Academy Award winning performance as an extra. And I was like, you know what? I think you're right. I had to be quiet. And for me, that's an Academy Award winning experience, role that I actually had to be quiet and just sit in the background. All joking aside, though, it's an honor. It's the weirdest part about it all, because I'm so small, 3 little parts or 4 that you can see me. The weirdest part is just seeing so much truth about my lifestyle, the deserts, the places that I camp, the truths, the realities, the aloneness, and my friends, seeing my friends on screen, you know, a major part of the movie. That's the weirdest part of it. But all right, so thank you all so much for all your kind comments, and those of you who are new here, I know I read the comments this last night and this morning. Some of you are finding me through the Oscars posts that I've been doing, so thank you so much for being here. And I'll put a link also below to my playlist of starting my videos from the beginning, and you can see all of my adventures over the last 4.5 years, how I got on the road, my stories. It's a very personal journey that I have shared on my channel, not just how to put on solar or how to, there's some of that for sure, but it's very personal, my story, with the goal really of inspiring people, no matter where they are in life, who they are, what they've been through, what challenges they face, how many times they've been told you can't. My goal really through my channel has been to show everybody that if I can do it, you can do it too. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me, and stay tuned. I got more videos for you, and I'm gonna try to get that one up tonight that I was supposed to do last night. All right, thank you all. See you next time. In the meantime, be happy, be free, and be kind. See you soon. Let me go find my dog. Come on. Come on, let's go inside. It's cold. Go ahead. Good.